It's day 249. No one can enter this city. The number of Muslims kept increasing rapidly. This increase, which could not be stopped, was making the pagans of Mecca uncomfortable. They were greatly troubled to see this unstoppable development. The Jews who had been banished from Medina felt the same way. Since their banishment, the Jews of Banu Nadir did not waste any time in making devious plans. They thought that they could act against the Muslims if they are united with other tribes and groups who were thinking in the same way. This was a crafty idea. They went to Mecca and told the pagans of their idea. Abu Sufyan received them with a positive attitude. He told them, "Those who are the enemy of Muhammad are our best friends." They immediately sat down and reached an agreement. They put together everything they had in order to have the strength of unity. They hired soldiers from the surrounding cities. Within a short while, they had gathered an army of 10,000 men. The commander of the army was Abu Sufyan. Without wasting any time, they set out for Medina. They wanted to suddenly appear at Medina and catch the Muslims unprepared. Those Arabs who lived in Mecca and loved the Prophet very much sent someone to the messenger to inform him that the enemy army was approaching Medina. The informant traveled in 4 days a distance, usually traveled in 12. He informed the Prophet that the pagans with a massive army were approaching Medina. The Prophet immediately gathered all his companions. He explained the situation to them. They had not been expecting such an attack. They were completely unprepared. They had a long discussion about how to meet the enemy and where. Different ideas were put forward. In the end, a man, a companion by the name of Salman from Iran, stood up and said, "O Messenger of Allah, when we were in Iran, we were afraid that an enemy of horsemen would attack our city. So we used to dig a khandak or a ditch. Let us do the same." This was a measure the enemy could never even have imagined. This way, they did not have to go outside of Medina. They could stop the enemy outside the city. All of them accepted this idea. The Prophet also accepted this idea. Because of this ditch, many deaths would be avoided. A lot less blood would be shed. Throughout his entire life, the Prophet had worked towards this end. With the ditch to be dug around the city of Medina, the message to be given to the enemy was, "No one can enter this city."